I'm Sam,
I'm Alex.
and we got a quick Big Ten preview for you. So it's going to be an interesting year for the Gophers.
Probably a rebuilding year.
Yeah.
They don't look too good so far.
No, you kind of have a cake non-conference schedule. I mean, I think the win against Clemson was nice, but other than that, I don't know. I don't think the direction of this team is where they want it to be right now.
Give it a year, maybe two, and I think with the new recruits coming in and the improvements on the players, this team could be in a really good spot, but this just isn't their year.
Yeah, definitely not this year. So let's start right away with Ohio State. The Buckeyes losing D'Angelo Russell is kind of a huge loss. I think that I'm not sure that they expected him to leave right away as a freshman, but they're still looking for another leader.
Yeah. So they had back-to-back losses to Texas Arlington and Louisiana Tech. So this team is far off from the one that made the NCAA tournament last year.
Definitely. So that'll be an interesting start to the season, I think, or the conference schedule.
It's a good chance for the Gophers to get their first Big Ten win.
Yeah, for sure. Michigan State, they right now are the top-ranked team in the country. Excuse me. Denzel Valentine, kind of probably might be Player of the Year. Certainly in the Big Ten conference, but maybe just the nation overall. Anything? I mean, you like to add on that?
It's second game for the Gophers. It is at home, but I don't really see them having a chance against Michigan State here.
Yeah.
They're way too talented.
I mean, you looked it up. Denzel is Valentine, is almost averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't tell you how key he is to this team, I'm not really sure what would.
Yeah, and Tom Izzo, year in and year out, has proven to be probably the best coach in the Big Ten, if not the entire country.
Yeah, he knows how to recruit, and he knows how to get the most out of his players, I think, for sure. So, all right, moving on. Penn State. This is always an interesting opponent for the Gophers because, again, last year, the Nittany Lions swept the Gophers.
Yeah, that was rough.
And Penn State isn't necessarily a basketball school, if you would.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Lost to Duquesne by 26 points already this year, and then had another rough loss to Radford. So, I don't know. We'll see. They do have a solid forward in Brendan Taylor. He's averaging 16 and 6.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's something to build off of. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Gophers are kind of a little hungry for this one. Kind of after being embarrassed last year.
Yeah, certainly a decent chance to start off the Big Ten season 2-1, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so moving on to the next one, Northwestern. This is a team that's never made an NCAA tournament.
This could be the year, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad.
Well.
7-1, decent wins over Virginia Tech and Missouri, and they hung close with UNC. So.
And then with Alex Ola, they have a really good inside presence.
Yeah.
Strong defender.
Yeah, so that should be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Nebraska. Again, not another basketball school, but they lost Teron Petaway, who is kind of one of those guys that you're kind of surprised. He seems like he's in college for years on end. And so he was kind of their heart and soul, but now that they don't have him, this team's kind of looking for a leader. So that'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, they've already had some strong experience playing really good teams. They've had 3 games against top 25 teams. Lost all of them, but I think that'll give them good experience going forward.
And they do have a decent win against Tennessee already, so that helps on the NCAA tournament resume.
Yeah. So far the team has a pretty strong defense, and that could spell trouble for the Gophers.
Yeah.
We've already shown that they have trouble shooting the ball.
Exactly. All right, Indiana. Tom Crean's Hoosiers. It's hard to think that this program was a top-tier program like just 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, they were ranked #1 in the country, had the famed win at home against Kentucky on the last-second 3, and now, even though Yogi Ferrell's still there, it doesn't really seem like they're that
Another
good.
guy that seems like he's just been around forever.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, 94 points given up to Duke already, so clearly defense doesn't seem to be too much of a strong suit. But
this could be a big win for the Gophers at home. I think they definitely have a chance.
All right, moving on. Michigan. This is a pretty good team, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. I think they could really improve down the stretch. Right now, we're not really seeing too much from them, But once Spike Albrecht gets back from his hip surgery,
Mm-hmm.
gets back to the player he was earlier, I think they could be a really formidable team.
Yeah, and once Albrecht gets back, I think that's really going to free up some of the pressure from Karis LeVert. He kind of has the whole team on his shoulders right now,
Oh, yeah.
and that's a lot for a guy who just works to create his own shot. Needless to say, though, I feel like this team might handle the Gophers pretty easily.
Absolutely.
Especially when they're firing on all cylinders. So, yeah. All right, Illinois.
Another one of those rough teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone saw at the beginning of the year they lost an early one to North Florida, and I'm pretty sure they dropped an exhibition before that.
Yeah.
The team's young,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I mean, they're kind of in the same boat as Minnesota. You don't really know where they're going to be, but who knows?
Yeah, they do have two really good scoring threats with Malcolm Hill and Kendrick Nunn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this is going to be a home game, so I feel like the Gophers have another decent chance.
They could pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on again. Purdue.
Ooh, this team looks pretty good so far.
Yeah. They
could be a top seed in the NCAA tournament if they keep it up.
definitely could. And I don't think anyone. We've been talking about what school traditionally is good at what.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue is definitely not, I would say, a men's basketball team or school. But wow, they're going to be a contender. I think, obviously, this year we talked about Michigan State, but Maryland is also a top-tier team in the Big Ten. But then I think Purdue's right there.
Oh, yeah. It's
you know.
not a good matchup for the Gophers, though, with Isaac Haas and A.J. Hammonds.
Yep.
They are probably the best inside presence in the entire
Yeah,
country.
I mean, when you have two bigs like that have experience in conference play,
Yeah.
and know how to control your game, limit fouls, but still crash the rebounds, and put up big post numbers, it's kind of a lethal weapon for the Boilermakers.
Aside from Jordan Murphy, the Gophers have almost no post presence.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a really rough game for them.
Yeah, that's
inside.
not a strong matchup. That could definitely be rough.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get into February, or I think we probably are, but Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Iowa's an interesting team. Jared Utoff is kind of evolving into a leader now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have, the upperclassmen they had last year, but Mike Giselle, their point guard, is also a strong leader. So, this team I could see either one of two ways. Like some other teams in the Big Ten, they tend to improve as the year goes on,
Mm-hmm.
or it's hit or miss, kind of what the Gopher fans have been used to in recent years.
Yeah, exactly. And Fred McCaffrey, year in, year out, he's still a pretty solid coach.
Mm-hmm.
He leads the team pretty
Yeah,
well.
so again, that's kind of a question mark, but that's kind of a theme in the conference this year.
I mean, the team has the talent that they could be highly ranked by the time this game happens.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see how this plays out.
Definitely. Maryland, newcomer to the Big Ten, but still, I think they're about ready to make their mark in basketball.
For sure.
Melo Trimble, probably one of the better players in the Big Ten. He's probably going to pick up some national honors too.
Oh, yeah.
I
got the transfer Rashid Suleiman from
Duke. Yeah,
Duke.
That's a big pickup, and Jake Lehman for them is pretty good too. Probably across the starting five, this team is, I would say, number one or number two in the conference. They kind of have everything covered. They can run, they can shoot, and Trimble is kind of the glue that holds it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add on that?
I mean, again, by the time the season ends, they could definitely be a high-seeded NCAA tournament team.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of talent.
Yeah, they could surely go deep in March. I don't think there's any question about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess it might be how badly they beat the Gophers.
Basically, yeah.
But
rough showing for the fans at Williams Arena.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think you're going to be paying more to see the Terrapins play that game than you will be to see the Gophers. That's just kind of the fact of the matter. All right, so Rutgers.
Oof. All right. Well, the Gophers have a really good chance to sweep them.
Yeah, I mean, playing them twice and late in the season, so hopefully you would think that Pitino has ironed out the question marks.
Yeah.
But Rutgers is kind of an unappealing team. You don't really have a star. It's kind of a lackluster program. Their athletic department is going through a lot of change.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably the most unappealing matchup on the schedule so far.
And the Gophers end the season with them too, so it could be a chance for them to end the season on a high note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before hitting the conference tournaments.
Oh yeah.
And then lastly, Wisconsin. Wisconsin will be
The second to last game of the season.
Yes, and that's an interesting team to watch. No more Frank Kaminsky or Sam Decker this year.
Mm-hmm.
As they fled to the NBA, but they still have Bronson Koenig, Nigel Hayes.
Ethan Happ is pretty strong.
Yeah, and Ethan Happ came kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's Bo Ryan's last year coaching, and something I just get this feeling that there's gonna be some inspiration factor there for the Badgers. Bo Ryan is a proven track record. He hasn't won the big one yet, but he seems to know how to win down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. They already have a big win against Syracuse on their belt. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They lost an early one, a tough one, to Western Illinois. But again, don't be surprised if this team, come March, is ranked and ready to, shock some people.
Oh yeah.
Across the nation. So, yeah.
All right. So that was our preview.
Stay tuned for more.
Absolutely.